Welcome to Alternatify, the channel where we dare to ask the biggest what-if questions that reshape our understanding of humanity and society. Today, we plunge into a world that seems impossibly utopian, yet harbors shadows we can barely comprehend. Imagine a world where the chilling specter of crime has vanished, a world where fear is an echo of a forgotten past. This isn't a dream, but a reality enforced by an entity of pure logic. We call this entity Aegis, an algorithm so flawless, so unbiased, so all-knowing, that it has eradicated crime from the face of the earth. It sounds like the ultimate salvation, doesn't it? On the surface, it promises a paradise, a society free from violence, theft, and injustice. But every utopia, especially one built on absolute control, carries a hidden cost, a price we might not be willing to pay. I remember walking home one night, the sudden chill of a blade against my throat, the cold dread of helplessness. That moment, that violation makes me wonder, would I trade everything for a world where such a thing could never happen? Aegis isn't just a program, it's a super-advanced artificial intelligence, a complex neural network that learns, evolves, and predicts with unparalleled precision. It is the culmination of humanity's quest for order, distilled into pure data. Its power lies in its insatiable appetite for information. Aegis constantly analyzes vast oceans of data, from social media interactions and financial transactions to medical histories and environmental factors. Every digital footprint, every recorded observation, feeds its omniscient gaze. Its core function is simple yet profound: to predict and prevent criminal behavior before it even manifests. It identifies patterns, correlations, and precursors with near-perfect accuracy, seeing the ripple before the wave. When Aegis flags an individual as at risk, its intervention methods are swift and tailored. This could range from targeted social services and mandatory counseling to more proactive measures designed to steer them away from potential transgressions. Consider the immediate, tangible benefits of such a world. Public spaces become truly safe, homes are sanctuaries, and possessions are secure. The pervasive fear that once shadowed our lives simply evaporates. Hospitals, once overwhelmed by trauma cases stemming from violence and accidents, experience a dramatic decrease in such incidents. Resources are freed, and the focus shifts entirely to healing and well-being. The justice system as we know it undergoes a radical transformation. Police forces are streamlined, no longer chasing shadows, but rather acting as community support. Legal systems pivot towards rehabilitation and preventative care rather than punitive measures. Billions, perhaps trillions, once funneled into law enforcement, prisons, and security infrastructure are now reallocated. Imagine those funds pouring into education, healthcare, scientific research, and vital infrastructure projects, uplifting every corner of society. Yet this perfect safety comes at an extraordinary price. Aegis's predictive power demands unprecedented access to every shred of personal data. To prevent crime, it must know everything about everyone all the time. Privacy, as a concept, simply ceases to exist. Constant monitoring becomes the new normal, an invisible omnipresence that observes every action, every interaction, every potential deviation. Your life is an open book, perpetually scrutinized. The lines between prevention and punishment blur into an indistinguishable haze. Is mandatory counseling for a predicted future offense truly prevention, or is it a preemptive sentence for a crime yet to be committed? Individuals might find themselves subject to preemptive interventions, mandatory therapy sessions, house arrest, or constant surveillance, all based on an algorithm's cold, calculated prediction of what they might do. The potential for future harm becomes a present reality. This raises a profound justice paradox. How do we hold an algorithm accountable for its judgments, especially when it lacks empathy, understanding, or the capacity for human error? Can true justice exist without a human heart? What if Aegis makes a mistake? What if its algorithms are subtly biased, or its vast data sets contain inherent flaws? A single miscalculation could lead to wrongful accusations, ruining lives based on statistical probabilities. The immense power vested in such a system presents an alarming potential for abuse. Without human oversight, or with oversight corrupted, Aegis could become a tool of oppression, enforcing conformity rather than preventing genuine harm. Individuals might become complacent, less willing to take risks, to innovate, or to challenge the status quo. The fear of triggering Aegis's intervention could stifle dissent, creativity, and the very spirit of human exploration. The economic landscape would be irrevocably transformed. Entire industries, from private security firms to legal defense and prison management, would be decimated overnight. Millions would find their livelihoods obsolete. In their place, new industries would emerge: data analysis, AI development, and social engineering. The focus would shift to maintaining Aegis, interpreting its predictions, and implementing its preventative measures. The government's role would expand dramatically, becoming the primary employer in many sectors. Social work, counseling, and surveillance would become paramount as the state takes on the responsibility of managing human behavior. This redefines the very nature of value. What is wealth when property is perfectly secure? What is work when so many traditional roles are automated or rendered unnecessary? The economic disparity might shift, but its fundamental existence could remain. The psychological toll of living under constant, perfect surveillance would be immense. The erosion of personal autonomy, the feeling of being perpetually watched and judged, could lead to profound alienation and despair. We would lose the fundamental human experience of agency, the freedom to choose, to make mistakes, and to learn from them. The capacity for self-correction, for growth through error, would be suppressed by an all-knowing system. This scenario forces us to confront fundamental questions about what it means to be human. Are we merely predictable machines, or do we possess an inherent free will that defies algorithmic prediction? What is justice when choice is removed? What is the role of government when it controls not just our actions, but our very potential for action? This isn't just about crime, it's about the essence of our existence. Perhaps Aegis isn't perfect. What if it's prone to errors, or susceptible to manipulation by those who understand its code? An imperfect Aegis could lead to black markets for unmonitored spaces, or a system corrupted by those in power. Even in a world governed by an algorithm, the human element endures. Our capacity for love, compassion, creativity, and choice are not easily quantified or suppressed. These are the forces that defy prediction. Consider what society might lose without crime. The empathy born from understanding suffering, the drive for justice that arises from injustice, the resilience forged in adversity. These are profound aspects of the human experience. Crime, in its darkest forms, forces us to confront our own humanity, our capacity for both good and evil. Without it, do we lose a vital part of our collective self-awareness? The future, if we are wise, will likely involve a hybrid approach. We must strive to combine the undeniable benefits of AI in data analysis and prediction with the irreplaceable wisdom, empathy, and ethical judgment of humanity. The ultimate question remains: is a world without crime, enforced by an omniscient algorithm, truly desirable? What are the long-term consequences for our spirit, our freedom, and our very definition of humanity? We want to hear your thoughts. Would you embrace Aegis? What concerns you most about such a future? Share your insights, your fears, and your hopes in the comments below. If this journey into the unknown has sparked your curiosity, please like this video, subscribe to Alternatify for more thought-provoking scenarios, and let us know what other what-ifs you'd like us to explore next.